Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City just a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson, with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you're interested in buying or selling a home in the area, or if you're looking at investing in a rental property, give us a call at 423-930-8003, and we will look forward to helping you. Now, let's get to today's episode. Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson, with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. It is a beautiful day here in Johnson City. We're getting ready to celebrate the 4th of July here in the next few days, and I'm excited about that. So I hope you are too. But I'm really excited about you guys getting to meet my new friend, Madison Ramey. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you.
So, Johnson City Living, first things first, we want to know what you love most about living in Johnson City.
I like Johnson City because they do embrace a lot of art stuff. I think the surrounding towns are really trying to break into murals, public art, things like that. Johnson City's already fully in it. They already have embraced it. So I enjoy coming around here and all the people from here because they're like-minded with me as far as like art and things like that.
Yeah. Now, where did you grow up?
Churchill.
Okay, so not far. How did you make it to the big city of Johnson City?
Oh my gosh, me and my husband have moved probably 8 times since we've been married.
Oh, wow.
So just.
You guys need to buy another house or?
No. Not moving anymore.
So just forget it.
Can't sell me on that, I'm sorry. Yeah. But eventually just kind of have to settle down at some point and not move anymore. So I enjoy the area, good area, so.
Yeah, what's your husband do?
He actually works at Enbridge, the big tank when you're coming towards Gray.
Oh, okay.
The big white tank.
Yes.
Yeah, he works there.
That's cool.
Yeah, he
it's
enjoys
like liquid-cooled gas, I believe. Is that
Natural
right?
gas.
Natural gas, yeah.
Yeah. When he tells me about it, I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever you're talking about.
I look at that tank and I think Mural.
Yeah, I literally said
Actually,
that
I think pressure wash,
yes.
and I think Mural.
Yes.
But don't tell him I said the pressure wash part. But I would love to pressure wash it.
Yeah.
Because I love pressure wash.
Do you?
But I don't know if I want to, rappel off the side of that thing with the pressure wash. Yeah, I may knock on his tank one day and be like, can I pressure wash this?
Let me paint this too. I know somebody.
Yeah. He probably would say, no, get off the property.
Yes,
And that kind of thing. So how did you get into art?
I've only been painting for about 3 years, actually.
Okay.
And my son, when he was little, I have a 4-year-old. So when he was smaller, I would do like little doodles for him, like little cartoons and stuff, and we'd kind of like point at him and recognize animals and whatnot. And I never did like art before that either. So I started doing doodles, and people were like, "Oh, those are decent," And I was like, "Well, maybe I'll go into like illustration or something." And then I started painting. I thought I would enjoy that more, and I did. And that kind of snowballed into abstract art. I've done a lot of abstract art, and then I enjoyed it so much. I saw someone in Gate City reaching out for a mural on the side of their salon, and so I messaged her, and then it just snowballed from that.
How many have you done?
72.
72?
Yes, I actually just did my 72nd the night before yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where was the last one?
At Bristol Bloom Collective in Bristol.
That's cool.
Yeah, I did the side of her building last year, I think,
Okay.
last summer, and then she had me do their inside of their floral refrigerator inside.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah. Turned out really nice. I love florals.
Are they mainly outside murals or?
A lot. I would say 70% of mine are inside and residential.
Like
I do a ton.
Kids' rooms and that kind of thing?
I do a lot of accent walls, nurseries, kids' rooms, things like that. I have people message me a lot asking, like, do you do that? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's like 90% of it. Like, that's a lot of it.
Yeah.
I like the public murals because, first of all, business-wise, they get a lot of eyes on them.
Sure.
So that's a good plus. And I like interacting with people when I'm painting. But in the winter time, not painting outside is a giant plus. So
I don't even know that the paint would stick.
no, it would not. So my seasons switch.
Gotcha.
I get outdoor mural season, indoor, and it just switches back and forth. So
72, and you've been doing it for how many years now?
probably about 2.5 total.
So you're doing like one a week.
Yeah. In October last year, I did 5. So I did just finish one in Gate City,
Okay.
and it was 320 feet long.
Holy moly.
And it was a retaining wall. So that was my largest one. That was kind of crazy.
Is it hard to paint a retaining wall because it's kind of a rough?
That was actually a smooth one.
It was a smooth one?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was a like a concrete smooth one.
Yeah.
And the town actually prepped it for us. That made it a lot easier.
That's a whole
on
lot
me.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it took us about 14 days total, but that was last month when all the rain kept destroying my schedule. So every single time we would have like a good couple days and it would rain. And then we'd have a couple days and it would rain. And I have 2 ladies that work with me on murals.
Gotcha.
So we'd have to get out there to work on it again. When
Let's
it
go, ladies. It's going to be dry.
Yes.
Tell me about the process, right? So one, I guess, tell people how they can find your murals online to see, if what you do is what they're looking for.
I have an Instagram, which is Madar Paints. I think it's Madar Paints _
Madar Paints?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And that's for Madison Ramey Paints.
M-A-D-R Paints.
Yes.
Yep.
People pronounce it like Mater Paints.
Mater?
And
Yeah.
yes. And I'm like, no, that's not it.
I bet Mater could paint.
Yeah, or like Matter. And I'm like, no.
No.
But they can find me on Instagram. I more so interact on Facebook, I would say. I have more of a following on there, I guess. So that's just Madar Paints, Abstract Art, and Murals.
Okay.
And when they reach out to me, I have put a post on my Facebook before because I think sometimes people don't know the cost of things like that. You
Sure.
don't know unless you ask, and you don't know unless
It's
you're
like
in
40
it.
or 50 bucks probably.
Yeah,
no big deal.
Like, just give me a McDonald's gift card.
Or a Starbucks or something.
Yeah, that's fine. But I do by square footage, so I have to get measurements for people to give me
What's
pricing.
the ballpark price per square foot?
10 to 12, somewhere in there, depending on design. If it's something like really blocky,
Right.
I do anywhere from 8 to 10. But if it's something really detailed, I go
Sure.
to 12, just
Sure.
because it's going to take longer, obviously. But I think sometimes people just want an idea of pricing, and I'll be like, oh, I can come out and do a quote. You can send me a square, and they get kind of scared, I think, and I'm like, I'm not gonna show up to your house just because I gave you pricing. I won't I gave you pricing. I'm gonna paint your house now.
You owe me. I'm
we're in
coming.
contract
That's
now.
It's either inside your wall or I'm going to just do your garage door or something. So just watch
Paint your
out.
car.
That's right.
But I'm very low key,
Sure.
if you want to book once I give you pricing, cool. If not, keep me in
And you
mind.
can use the measure app on the iPhone now.
Yeah.
And just go, well, just measure over there and down, and it'll be a good ballpark. You
Yes.
probably want to know
Yeah.
specific measurements.
Right.
All right, so let's say Carly and I found we've got a 10 by 12 wall we want to do, 120 square feet, so it's $1,000. It sounds like. Is that about right? And then, when we come up with the idea, I guess we work with you coming up on design and that kind of thing as well.
Sometimes people will just find a picture and they're like, hey, I want this, paint this. And that makes my job easier sometimes. But then if someone wants something specific, normally they'll tell me their ideas. We'll kind of pull from different things that they want. And then I'll come up with a design. It looks I always tell everyone, I'm like, it looks really weird at first, but I need just to get a visual of some things pieced together. And then from there, we'll create something more concrete,
Gotcha.
But then sometimes people they're like, hey, I've seen your work.
I trust
Do whatever you want. Yeah. When I did the floral shop the other day, the one that I did last year for her, she was like, put color on the wall, pretty much do whatever you want. And then when I did the floral the other night, she's like, I want flowers. That's about all I'm going to give you, just do your thing.
And she
So
probably was blown away. Yeah, that's cool.
And I always, not that I don't like not having or having to do a design, but it does make me feel good when people trust me in that way, and they're just like, I know you got it, you know? So I enjoy doing ones like that, and that's always fun. So
That is pretty cool and scary. I would probably be like, I was thinking more like this.
I know.
Here's kind of what I came up with. And
my assistant has to rein me back in so many times because I did a mural this past winter, and the people were actually on vacation when I did it, which I do that a lot. People just give me their key and they're like, here, go paint my house.
Yeah.
but I hadn't heard, I had sent her pictures and I was like, let me know if you like it. It was for a nursery. But of course there was time change. They were in Ireland, you know? And so I didn't hear anything, I think until a few hours later, maybe the next day. And I was panicking because I'm like, they probably hate it. They're gonna like burn their house down. They hate it. Like,
Their
I've ruined
baby's
this
gonna look at this awful thing all the time.
I know, I've ruined their child's life. And Amy's like, Madison, it
Just be
looks
cool. It looks
beautiful.
awesome. Right.
Like, what are you talking about? But then once I get confirmation that they love it, I'm like, okay, now I can like it too.
Right.
You know, like, I just always want to make sure people like it, you know? I mean, it's a whole thing of what I did, you know? I wouldn't want someone to not like I painted and they have to live
Right.
with.
You're like, hey, see you later. Get the roller. We're
I
gonna
know.
make sure, yeah, and just roll
So
over.
it is scary, and I care about it, you know? I'm passionate about it, so I want it to be loved, so.
Have you had one go south?
No,
Okay.
thankfully.
Never
Knock
know.
on someone.
What's and so the 8x40, is that the biggest one you've ever done?
No, the retaining wall that I just did was the highest point on that one, I think was like 8.5 feet, and then it was 320 feet long.
So how do you go about like visualizing and like, do you sketch it out and then put it like on a projector kind of thing and lay it out?
With that one, it was so long.
Yeah.
I had to go across the street to a different parking lot, and I had my assistant on the phone, and I mean, I had my design in front of me, and I would just I can visualize things in that way. I already see it on there, I guess, so it's kind of easier.
That's pretty cool.
I walk around and see walls all the time, and I'm like, I could paint that on that wall. It's kind of a problem. But I just had
You just found a way to monetize your graffiti itch.
Yes, pretty much.
All right.
Fancier way of doing
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
Fancier and your husband's like, this is way better.
Yes. But I just had her pretty much marking on the wall and blocking it off. And then we do like detailed design stuff from there closer up. But everything is different. It changes, you know. We're very, like I said, very go.
Right, because
you
things
know.
are changing on the fly.
Yes.
You're kind of out there and you're like, oh, I thought this would be a little, but we're going to have to fix it a little bit. But then you're always thinking back, like having to run across the street for perspective.
And I did have to do that a lot. We had to go.
Yeah, how's that look?
Yes.
That's too big. Yeah, that's too small.
Every night that we were done working, we would step back and just stand there for about 5 minutes. And I'd make a mental list of what we needed to work on the next day. But I would also kind of just like check everything.
Sure.
So I mean, it's hard when you're that close to the wall, not getting a perspective of it. But
yeah, you almost want to set a camera up over there. And just look at
that'd be easier actually.
Yeah. That one's free. You don't have to.
Thank
for
you.
that. Yeah. So you teach art a little bit too. Where do you teach at?
I teach at Hilton Horizons, and she was on this podcast.
Yes, she
actually.
was. That's right. And you're saying you moved
Yes.
places.
We were downtown near the Carousel in Kingsport, and we moved near the mall, actually.
Okay.
A much bigger space, and it has different rooms instead of us all being in one open room. And it's been really good. We worked on it a little bit here and there, and we're just now getting like furniture and stuff like that in. So I'm excited. We start August 2nd, I think.
Gotcha.
Or maybe 4th, I don't remember. I probably need to know that.
Show up sometime.
Yeah, but I enjoy that too. My son actually goes with me. So
That's cool.
Yeah, we're gonna homeschool him, so it's a good way for him to interact with kids. And then I really enjoy teaching. We have some days where it's like, oh my gosh, that was like rough, you know? Because we were in a really small space with a lot of kids for a while. But then some days it goes wonderfully and you don't have any problems and everything turns out great, you know? We had a big art show and talent show this past year, and that was really fun. That was fun to see everyone kind of come out of their shell, and some of the kids that like, probably the art's not their favorite thing. Some of them, they love it. Some of them just kind of like, I'd rather be doing something else, you know? They were even excited to see their stuff like on display, and they did their talents and stuff, and that was fun to see too. Because I think that's important, having their kids kind of blossom and go out of their safe zone.
Kids, and I think we all have a creative bend, right? Like we have two sides of our brain.
Right.
One's more logical and the other one's more creative. And so I don't know where you kind of make the turn to go, no, I'm just going to kind of turn off my artsy side of my brain and just go more this way. Do you have any tips for parents that are listening maybe to help encourage the more creative side of their kids' brains? And
I would say you have to, there's different ways of being artistic and creative. I mean, like, singing and dancing, and that's art, you know? So I guess just like find something that does speak to them. It doesn't always have to be like painting, drawing. Maybe that's something that they love, but maybe gymnastics or dancing would be something they love more, you know? So I think it's just like each child's gonna have their own individual interests.
Right.
And then once you find it, you just gotta gotta push kids sometimes, you know? If I wouldn't have pushed myself to do this, I probably wouldn't do it at all, you know?
Right.
So you gotta give them a little push sometimes.
Encourage,
yes.
and give them the opportunity to express.
I told one of the girls, her mom really wanted her to do the talent show, and she was like, "No, I'm not." And I said, "Pick something, because you're going up there. You got to pick something. You're just going to stand there in silence."
Yeah.
So just a good little nudge.
And I think it gets kids out of their comfort zone a little bit. That's where you really grow.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times with homeschool kids, that's like the big thing of like, they're going to be weird, or, you know, they're not going to be like socialized. Not on our watch.
Yeah, right.
Not going to happen. We are obviously very social people, so that's not going to work.
Homeschool, and their kids are awesome.
Yeah.
But they also have lots of opportunities to interact with other kids. So
yeah.
I think that's critical.
Yeah.
Because there are some you meet that you're like,
yeah.
Well, I grew up in the middle of Alaska, so it's just
Talk
me
to
and my
bears
parents. That's right. And I had a chipmunk friend.
Yes.
You also do professional face painting?
I do, yeah.
Tell me about this.
I guess it's labeled professional face painting because it's not just like something small on the cheek. I do like full face designs and stuff. But I actually really, really enjoy face painting. Murals is my like full-time big thing that I work on. But face painting has slowly crept up to become a big contender of that.
Yeah.
There's not many people in the area that do face painting, first of all. So I think that was kind of like helpful to me growing it. And then I think like a year or two ago, I think it was like 2 years ago, someone had messaged me. I just started painting and stuff. And she had messaged me, and it was actually for a realty company's Halloween party. And she said, do you do like face painting? And I kind of like responded as a joke, and I was like, not as a career, but like, I guess I could, you know, like whatever. And now I love it. It's like part of what I do.
That's so cool.
So
I was going to ask you what sort of events people are going to where they, because I'm going, sorry, Madison, I don't know that I'm ever coming to get my face painted.
A lot, actually. I do a lot of like festivals. I do a lot of birthday parties, things like that. Ballad hires me for a lot of their things. I do like town events and stuff. Cool. So I'm in Jonesboro a lot face painting. And I actually do hair braiding there too, which is very random. So
nice.
I just go on these little side quests to do all these little things.
That's hilarious.
And then it turns into a career. So it's very weird.
That's cool. Where do you see this going in 5 years or so?
Hopefully hitting 100 murals. That would be lovely. And then
at this rate, you're going to do it pretty quick.
Yeah, hopefully.
It'll be more like 200.
Yeah. I don't really see a difference. I hope it's just doing the same thing. I mean, I don't really, maybe I'll travel and do a few more, you know, that would be nice. When I do go to the beach, I put ads out, and I'm like, free beach trip.
I'd like to come back. You got to cover my travel expenses.
Yes.
Room and board while I'm here.
We go to Top Sale every year, and I run ads in Top Sale every year, and I'm like, I'll come back and paint your Airbnb if you.
I have a buddy, Nick Phillips, over there I can connect you with. He's great.
And I do Airbnbs in the area too. Peaceful Peak, I've done 5 murals at their Airbnb.
Oh, wow.
And they just keep bringing me back. I'm their resident muralist now.
That's cool.
And I love it over there. But I've done a few other Airbnbs, but if I can travel and Airbnbs, hit me up, you know, like that would be nice. Go stay in your Airbnb for a couple days and paint your whole house.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. You're a little more expensive than normal painters.
Probably.
But I could see it. I could see it working.
Yes.
So, what do you and your husband like to do for fun when you're not painting murals?
We actually just finished building a house.
Did you?
Yes. So that was.
Does it have some murals in it?
No, not yet. I'm supposed to be painting our reading nook, and I have not done that. And my son loves dinosaurs, and I'm supposed to paint his room, and it's just sketched on the wall.
Yeah.
So. I've had multiple office locations, and every single time I've had a full plan to paint murals on them, and I never complete them.
Yeah.
I guess just first of all, you don't want to go home and do your work
Yeah.
at home.
Like the cobbler's kids have their shoes kind
yeah.
of deal. Yeah.
And then I changed my mind a lot. I fully, when people are indecisive about like their mural designs, I understand because I could never pick one for my own. So I'm like, I totally get it. Like if you're indecisive, let me know when you decide, you know.
That's kind of like me with a tattoo. Like I'm like, if I get one, there's no getting it off.
I know.
And I'm a little probably afraid of the pain. But I'm also be like, I'm going to look at this forever.
I know.
You know?
And there's only so much covering up you can do on them. So, and I've heard the lasering hurts worse to remove it.
See?
So you should probably stay a blank canvas.
There you go. Yep. Yeah. So you got done with your house. Do you guys? Where do you guys like to go on date night? Are you in Kingsport more than Johnson City?
We have a 4-year-old, so I don't know what date night is.
Gotcha.
Date night has been finishing things in our house, pretty much. I love to go to bingo.
Oh, yeah?
I love bingo. My family kind of teases me for that, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's peaceful, you know.
Which senior center is that at?
The one in Wadlow Gap, actually.
There you go. See, I knew it. Yeah.
I do have a specific one I hit up.
That's right.
But I enjoy it. They have like free bingo and stuff at the library in Gate City too. I mean, and my sister lives there, so we'll go and play bingo.
That's so fun. Like I love bingo. Carly, my wife, she'll play bingo.
I love old people activities. Yeah. I garden. I play bingo. You know. Yes, that's fun to me.
There you go. Cook.
Which I mean, I can stuff too. I do canning and things like that. So
I think that's a lost art that needs to be reinvented.
It is.
I mean, like, yeah, because my parents, we grew up canning stuff. And I remember my mom would pull out like jars of tomatoes and, you know, beans in the winter.
Yes.
Because now we live like kings. We can have anything we want at any time.
But you don't know what's in it either. That's the biggest thing.
Well, true. Like if you're getting some weird fruit in the middle of the fruit, you know, when it's not, it's genetically engineered or they shipped it, you know, from Tibet or somewhere.
I actually make my own butter too.
Whoa. Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
I've been making my own butter for probably 2 years now, which around the holidays, I do cave and I buy butter because I have to use a lot of it. Sure. That would be a lot. Yeah. And my husband found a stick of butter one time from the store and he's like, explain this. And I'm like, oh geez, like you make the butter then if you want it. Yeah. But I like old lady activities. That's hilarious. They are fun. Yeah. My assistants one of them is 55-ish, somewhere in there, and my other assistant is 77.
She's right in the prime of her life.
Yes. I have ripped them out of retirement and I work them to death, but they love it. Yeah. So I really enjoy it. I enjoy working with them. It's fun. Yeah. So.
What was the process like finding some folks that want to help with murals, right? I mean,
it's funny because Amy, my assistant, we actually sold our house to them about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was in Churchill, and we sold our house to them. We kept being friends and everything. And then I had a big mural I was working on in Kingsport, and she was like, let me know if you ever need help. And I never had anyone help me to that point. I just was like, no, like I was a control freak about it, you know? And so she came and helped me with that one. And then I was like, hey, it's fun not talking to yourself for 14 hours a day. So she ended up coming along with me on all of them since that. And then Brenda is Amy's neighbor, our old neighbor. And like I said, she is 77. But you would not think it. And she loves it. I've even like told her multiple times, I'm like, if you just like don't want to do this one, like she's like, Madison, I look forward to this. Like, I love it. And I'm like,
that's super cool.
Okay, you know, so we're the weirdest little group ever, but it works out and we have fun doing it. So,
a little bit of like what kind of paint do you use on these exterior? Like, because I mean, you want it to last a long time.
Yeah.
Right? And you said there's a lot of work on the prep part too.
Yes. If it's like a really bad wall, there's actually I'll use a primer on it, but we did one in Hilton's last year or the year before. I don't remember how long ago it was, and it was a pretty rough wall. The owner actually pressure washed it for us, and they had little like pieces coming off of it, and I was like, So pressure washed it, and then we put a really good coat of primer on it, and then after we painted, I forget what brand it is. I want to say it's like Helmsman or something. They have this sealant that's essentially a glue, and it's for rough surfaces. And the first time I used it, I was really scared because it goes on like that bluish tint. And I was like, oh my God, what have I done? You know, but it dries clear. But it's a glue for a wall pretty much. And a lot of times I'll use like a UV protectant one so it doesn't like yellow and turn after time. But sealant on exterior ones is very, very important. And like even when I paint Airbnbs, I tell people might want to do a sealant on that too, because you don't know who's going to be in that house, you know, or animals or whatnot. So interior ones, that's simpler. It's just like interior paint, but exterior is a lot more prep and sealant afterwards, like big time. So,
what are typically the things that you are painting? Is it like flower? I mean, like, I don't even know. I haven't seen them.
I do a ton of florals.
You can just do.
And I love florals. The Gate City one that we just finished had a big honeycomb portion on it.
That's cool.
And that was really fun because the town, it took us 4 hours to get the honeycomb brand on. It took a really long time. But we did the blocking for it. And then when the town came out, we had a community paint night, and the town came out and painted their little honeycomb cells. And so they all helped paint that portion. And
That's cool.
Yeah,
so
it was really
got
fun.
Ownership in it.
Yes.
That's super cool.
That was a big goal of mine too, because I wanted to do one like that for a long time.
Yeah.
But sometimes murals, you have to get on a lift in the air, and that's not always doable, you know. And that one happened to be short and long, so it worked out that way.
And like if the community's involved in it, you know, hopefully they're you know, because there's some hateful people out there. They like it more, but then I was thinking of vandalism or something. They're gonna be like, oh no, we're guarding.
Oh yeah, and we did have someone. We were out one day for lunch, and when we showed back up, there was a police officer standing out there, and we were like, hello? And he was like, someone called because they said someone was like walking down the sidewalk with like a pole, like kind of scratching it. I didn't see any evidence of that, but I did tell my assistants, I was like, people are watching out for it now, though, you know?
That's pretty cool. Don't mess with our wall.
Yes, and so they have a hand in it. And I actually had, after the community paint night, I had 2 parents message me, and they were like, our kids want to go to art school now. And I'm like, oh my God. So that was very cute. I loved that. They really like had a hand in it. They enjoyed doing it, you know? So that's
super cool. Yeah. I think it's neat how our paths in life just kind of work out. And,
something will spark that, you know? And it just goes from there.
What advice would you give somebody who's listening maybe in Texas and they're like, hey, I want to be, I like to paint, but I'm a little too afraid to put it on a wall in the middle of the city.
I would probably just start doing bigger canvas stuff and then kind of promote it. Even though social media is a pain sometimes, it is your best tool for promoting and getting business and things like that. So just keep pushing yourself. I did an interview for the Southwest Virginia Cultural Center a few weeks ago, and she asked me like if I had advice, whatever, would I tell people? And it sounds so cheesy, but it really is like just believe in yourself and push yourself to do things. Other people have believed in me and pushed me more than I have myself. Like when I did that first mural, that girl that reached out to me, she believed I could do it. You know, and that gave me a push. I wouldn't have been doing it if she wouldn't have asked. Yeah. And then like the face painting thing, I probably wouldn't have done that either. So all these people have had their hand in pushing me to do things, you know? So believe in yourself, and if someone is telling you you're good at something, you probably are. So believe them too, you know? So I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, have a good support system.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure your husband's a good support person as well.
And my son, he came out and painted that night too. And ever since, he's like, I'm gonna paint more walls with you. I'm like, I don't know if people would like that too much. That was a different situation, but.
Anything you wish you had done differently when you started out? Like that could accelerate the process
Honestly,
for some
not
people?
Really.
Yeah.
When I think back, it's very weird how it just happened to snowball. I never would have imagined.
It's like you found your calling kind of thing, and it's just taken off.
When people ask me, like, how did you get into this? I'm like, I don't even know. You know, it's all been so, like, the whole time, which it's been wonderful. I don't remember most of it because it's been so, like, crazy.
Just a flash,
Yes, and that's what it feels like. It does feel like a blink, and then here we are. So I don't think I would do anything. It all happened, I think, the way it was supposed to. You know, it turned out really really good, and I hope it keeps going that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
do you have any big projects lined up for the future?
I have another mural in Gate City. They're really trying to beef up their art stuff. Yes.
Johnson City's got like 20.
Yeah, I know. They're pretty established out here. I know Kingsport's trying to. They have quite a bit too. I've done a few in Kingsport, and then Gate City's really trying to break into it. So I have one coming up with them, and I'm booked until September right now.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah.
Carly and I went to the Mexican restaurant now that's in front of Target in Johnson City, which is the old O'Charlie's, and they have like it's crazy inside the
Really?
the decorations, but the wall, like I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody like these people. I mean, it is unbelievable. And
Yeah.
I was sitting there just like blown away that there are people like you on the planet that can do it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's an amazing gift that the Lord has blessed you with. It's just super cool.
I enjoy it. Like I said, I never would have thought anything from doodling like a frog and random things would have turned into what it is. Right. Yes. But I do, like I said earlier, I go around and I look at walls and I'm like, I can imagine what would be on that wall, you know? And I have cold called people before and I'm like, hey, you have a good wall. Like, do you want me to paint it?
Yeah. That's
even,
smart. You gotta ask for business.
Yeah.
I tell our
even
team all
within
the time.
Gate City, I mean, one of the ladies that runs Gate City Frontier, she made a joke about how I'm quite aggressive about when I have a project in mind, I want it to get done, you know? Yeah, and so I've called her about probably 3 or 4 walls. She's like, we'll get there, Madison, we'll get it.
I'm thinking too, like maybe even in the mental health space, right? If people are looking at walls that are beautiful, it's going to calm them, encourage them.
Yeah.
So I would think that some healthcare spaces, like you were saying, maybe ballad, and then, you know, some other industries are like, hey, we just got a room where you can go chill, you know, and just relax. And because it's amazing what art can do. Right. Just relax.
There's art therapy. People do like art therapy and stuff. I don't teach that myself, but I mean, there's a lot of things that I think when I was first starting to doodle, I had lost myself in motherhood a lot. I didn't really have, you know, when you become a mom, you kind of do that. You kind of lose your personality a little bit.
Well, you're focused. You got a little person you got to keep alive.
Yes, and that's all your focus, you know. And I think art kind of did like bring me out a little bit of that to where I could like have something on my mind other than diapers for the day, you know. And I think I was in kind of like a space of that, and I think that helped me even personally. So it has like a touching reason for how much I love it too, you know. It's not just like, to me, it's not just like business and getting paid and stuff. I've had some people before like, you should raise your prices, and I'm like, I would do a mural for $5 if it meant like, if it was like touching for some reason.
Just put me by the bank.
Yes, I did one in Irwin actually after the hurricane. We did an Irwin Strong mural on a boutique out there, and we volunteered for that one. And we had people coming up to us on the street crying. They were like, and part of me, when we first did that one, I was nervous because I didn't know how it would be received, because I thought it could go 2 ways. People could like it, or they could be like, we don't need painted walls, right? You know, and I was a little nervous going in, but they loved it. It said Irwin Strong on it. It was mountain, colorful flowers, and they were like, we needed this. It was something that kind of reminds you that I will get better. So we've done like a lot of murals and a lot of donation things that they have been like really touching to people. So that makes me feel good too.
Yeah,
you know?
that's super cool. Yeah, that's super cool.
We enjoy it a lot.
Who are some people that have been influential in your life to kind of help with the art and get you going?
My dad, which my parents both do their own like artistic things in their own way. Yeah.
So you have it in your blood.
Yeah, and my grandpa was like Bob Ross level painting too and stuff. Yeah. So
my mother's she can do it. I didn't get it.
Yeah. Maybe it just skipped a little bit. You can find it later.
Right. I haven't even asked the boy. My boys maybe have it. Yeah. So
I guess I think I had a lot of it from my family. But my dad has been a huge like cheerleader. He goes with me to almost all my face painting things because that's a lot of stuff to lug around. When I do like events and stuff, I have to bring my tent and my whole kit and all that stuff. It's a lot of stuff to move. And there was one time I did a mural in Kingsport, and I'll paint whatever time of day I can. If I have to get up at 5 a.m., Like if I set it today, like overnight, I'll do overnight if I have to, you know.
Yeah, like it's in a road and you're like, I'm in the way.
Yeah, it'll be fine. They'll see me. But I had to do one downtown Kingsport, and it was at night. It was in the evening. It was a little sketchy.
Yeah.
And so my dad actually used to teach karate with Chuck Norris, and he's a big dude.
Nice.
Yes. And so he came in all black, and he had nunchucks on his side, like full bodyguard mode.
That's awesome.
And I thought it was so funny. And I told him, I was like, I was painting, like facing the wall, and he was like this the whole time. I was like, Dad, you can sit down. Like, it's not like that intense, you know? And he was like, I'm good. And he was like full scanning. I'm like, do your thing then, you know?
Yeah,
like, so he's like my helper, my bodyguard. He lets me paint his face when we go to face painting events.
That's fun.
Yes, he's been like my biggest cheerleader, helper, you know, like he helps me with a lot of it. So he's been a big.
Good shout out for Dad. That's awesome. That's super cool. All right. Again, how do our listeners connect with you?
My phone number, you can get me on my phone. It's 423-963-2302. And then Facebook is Madar Paints, Abstract Art and Murals, and it's just MADR Paints.
Yeah.
And then Instagram as well. So
that's cool.
Supposed to be working on a website, but it's been on the back burner for a while. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I just have not gotten there.
AI, you just hop on there and say, this is what I want it to look like, and it'll make it and do it all. It's just crazy.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's like go to GoDaddy. They have an AI website thing, or I think probably WordPress, and you can just knock it out.
It's a lot.
And yours is a little more artsy probably, so it'd be, but you can add in some of those touches and things, but it'll go a lot faster than you think.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Just been on the backboard for so long.
What gets you just like fired up? You're just like, let's go.
I do smaller murals, Amy comes with me. So it's just me and her, which is always real fun anyways. But when we all three work together, it just goes so smoothly.
Yeah.
I think because we enjoy it so much, you know? And like I said, I love florals. Anytime I can paint floral, I just get so like, I almost just zone out. Like I don't even know what I'm doing. I just kind of go with it, you know? So I love doing that.
Like, what is your favorite flower to paint?
I don't know. I just did these purple ones. I actually don't even know what they're called. At that flower shop the other day. And I love them. They turned out so pretty. I may incorporate them into the other one I'm doing in Gate City.
So you just take a picture of a flower kind of thing and then
pretty much. Yeah.
All right, I like the look of this. Let's just throw it up on the wall.
We did, within that mural in Gate City, we did Virginia wildflowers. It was representative of like the area, florals around. And then it was around the honeycomb portion too. So we had little fat fuzzy bees and stuff. So yeah, it all kind of came together and pieced together.
That's super cool. I'm looking forward to checking out the Instagram and seeing what all you've done on there. Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and telling everybody about what you do. That's why I love this podcast. Like, it's just so fun. Like, I would have never met you, most likely. And then you reached out to be on here. And so if you like have some kind of crazy thing that you do, like painting walls for people, reach out. We'd love to have you on here and just, share what you do with the community and the world, because I think everybody's got some really cool talents out there.
Sometimes it is hard to meet people too, so.
Well, maybe we get some people off of the podcast that are like, hey, I want my walls painted. Let's go.
That would be nice.
I hate painting. How much just to paint like one color all over the wall?
I've had people ask me that and I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Not gonna do it.
No, I'm like, if it's like flat painting your wall, I'm not interested. I'm so sorry.
There you go. You know anybody that needs to buy a house, sell a house, or invest in real estate I can help?
Not that I know of.
All right, you're gonna find somebody, and then when you do,
I'll keep you in the Rolodex of my brain.
Perfect. Thank
but
you
things get lost in there, so there's no problem.
Well, I'll harass you. I'll be like, hey, don't forget. All right, well, thank you guys for listening. I hope you all have an awesome summer. It's just beautiful in East Tennessee, as always. And
very hot.
Yeah, it's a little warm, but it's cool.
Yes.
Till next time, I'm Colin Johnson with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you want to move here, we would love to help you move here, and we can get you an awesome mural painted on your house. So
that works.
Thanks so much, and have a great day.